blockchain, Web3, and the Metaverse full potential.
Everyone, my name is Nish, or Dr. Nikita Sachdev. I am the managing director at Luna Media Corporation. We are a media house. We own the franchise to Cointelegraph Arabic. We have an award-winning PR and marketing agency. We also do a lot of work within Web3 to bring Web2 publications into Web3 and just get the word out. I'd like to call up my panelists on stage. Hamza? If you're on the panel, just get on up. So I'd like to start with a quick round of introductions here. Obviously, our panelists come from really nice backgrounds. So Hamza, if you want to start.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mohammed Hamza. I'm the co-founder of Masari Capital, which brings regulated companies within the region. We are also official partners of one of the world's largest payment providers, which is Coinify. I'm also the head of business for a company called Journee, which is the most highly awarded metaverse. We build brands for BMW, H&M, Cartier, Vogue, and so on. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Uma. I am co-founder and COO at APPICS. We're a Web3 company, most well known for our reward-based social media dApp, APPICS, which launched last year in the App and Google Play Store. And we have transitioned now into more of a Web3 development company. We also help other brands and projects to get more into Web3. We have our own metaverse spaces that we build. So we built with Unreal Engine, and we've also launched our NFT marketplace. So we incubate now a lot of projects and help them do the same thing. We're very much focused on building applications that are very user-friendly so that everyone has a way to get into the space.
Thanks for that.
Hi, I'm Karl Escritt. I'm the CEO of Like Digital and Partners. Like Digital and Partners is a digital transformation company that really pushes brands and businesses to the next level with technology, letting them understand in today and how they move into tomorrow. I'm also a writer for a number of publications on tech trends, where I mainly focus on removing the hype and into the practicalities of things.
Hello, my name is Pavel Prigolovko. I'm a co-founder of EverX company.
Sorry, the mic's not working.
Hello? Hello, I'm Pavel Prigolovko. I'm a co-founder of EverX, which is a core developer of Everscale network. It's layer 1 protocol. So it's a scalable solution, and we think that it is the best solution for mutable, composable, scalable NFTs, which we believe that is the only way how you can. It's a format. It's a format for NFTs for mass adoption, because current monolithic architecture on EVM blockchain, when you have a contract which stores all data, it's not possible for billions of users with hundreds of items to be on chain. So in order to handle future digital twin and metaverse mass market, you need to have atomic smart contracts which will work, which will be composable. So we have distributed programming concept. And this is the way how we can host and act as this trust backend for that future.
Thanks for that.
Thanks.
So I want to kick off the panel with some good news. Obviously, we've had a year of some troublesome news, to say the least. This weekend was a bit stressful. But overall, I mean, we've had South Korea announce that they want to invest $51 million into crypto-related projects. And 2 weeks ago, here in the region, we had the formation of 𝐒𝐿𝐷AO, the digital asset oasis. So that formation was really, I mean, it's monumental for the industry, because now we have a free zone that allows cryptocurrencies to be registered there. They accept payments in Bitcoin. I mean, it's really a hallmark for the industry. I want to know how you feel this is going to impact the world or crypto on a global level.
I think that it is very important and imperative for governments to support this ecosystem And by doing so, they give confidence not only to businesses that want to come here, but at the same time, give consumers the confidence to do business with these businesses, right? And having Dubai Metaverse Strategy, Dubai Blockchain Council, and these free zones supporting this ecosystem, it becomes very easy to do business within the region and gives an example to other countries to follow suit. Recently, we have had immense adoption from Saudi Arabia, from UAE, Qatar now coming into the picture. So this region is quickly becoming one of the hub for blockchain and metaverse, and I think in the next few years to come, the Web3 adoption is also going to be like mainstream. So I think definitely the government is doing the right thing and on the right path.
100% agree with that. So I think it's super important for all countries to look at this space and look at what is needed in order to make the business work, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to shut down all the centralized businesses and now everything is going to be decentralized. But it's more about how do we work with these projects and how do we support companies to actually make it possible to build a business in that country. Because we've seen actually through that, a lot of people are now moving to Dubai, moving to this region, right? Because they feel that here they're more supported than in their own country or in other countries in other parts of the world. And so if we want to see adoption happening in other countries and other continents of the world, we need more of that. So I'm also hopeful that there's going to be this type of free zones in every emirate. Right now we have one. I think that was a really good kickstart. I hope to see that more in the future, and also that it's part of business licenses. So when you're getting that you can look at do I want to consider potentially even including in the current business that I'm running that may not have anything to do with Web3 or Metaverse, but that there is always the option to then later on say, hey, look, I want to include this, and then you can just add it to your business license so that it's not a completely separate entity or topic that you then have to open up and you have to go through a completely new set of regulations, but that it's actually part of the just regular business licensing.
Yeah, I mean, really simple comment, really. I mean, people are people, humans are humans, yeah? And people want to pay in crypto, pay in crypto. If you want to pay on Amex, pay in Amex. You want to pay in cash, pay in cash. You want to pay in bars of gold, pay in bars of gold. That's the ultimate question, yeah, it really is. What is the actual consumer want and need, yeah? And that's really all this comes down to, really.
Well, I do feel like certain regions do target the regulations of crypto very differently. So when you're looking at Europe or the US, I mean, we have a lot of clients at Luna that are based out of Europe and the US that are now moving to Dubai because of the regulations. So I want to know how you feel this 𝐒𝐿 can set an example for the rest of the world.
It's the same thing. I mean, I think regulations are probably there for a reason. I mean, I'm not a crypto expert, so like this is not my kind of question or thing. But the regulations are there for particular reasons, yeah. And the banking system is set up to be regulated and relatively boring and difficult for a particular reason, yeah. So I'm assuming, and I'm not an expert at this, there's a long way to go around security, ethics, and so on and so forth. I mean. But at the end of the day, am I going to wake up in the morning and say, hey, I really, really want to buy this thing with crypto? No one ever thought that, yeah? They just say they wake up and want to do something, want to experience something, they want to buy it. How they make that transaction is the bigger question. How it's easy, flexible, seamless is the bigger question everyone needs to be asking.
One thing that I could maybe add is what I think is extremely important is that governments look at every project individually. So instead of like the SEC saying, oh, all tokens are security, right? When we incorporated our company in 2018 in Switzerland, it was like we went through an entire process. Yes, it took a while, it took months, but then in the end, it was like, okay, here, we're dealing with there's actual utility behind it, this is what they're doing, and so then it becomes easier to regulate it. But you have to really get into each individual case and look at it individually versus just saying, okay, this is all crypto, this is all blockchain, this is all metaverse, right? Every project solves maybe a different solution, and so I think also differentiating there is going to be highly important.
From my standpoint, regulation always comes after the technology and only after mass adoption happens. I think that the next hype in crypto will come out of digital twin. And there is a good reason for that, because it's very simple narrative, and currently cost of production reducing dramatically due to AI, due to automated items, 3D models creation. So once it will reach to a certain point, there will be a boom in digital twin. What we have now, we are not there yet. Again, because of high cost of creation of high quality, because crypto metaverse, they are dead, to be honest. If you think that there are billions of gamers in the world and there are only probably 100, not 1,000, just 100 people who are playing now in crypto metaverse, you just feel the difference. So, but once that low-cost art object creation will reach a certain point, then there will be mass, large-scale digital twin.
So this does bring me to my next point. Now, obviously, over the last year, we've seen the collapse of several centralized entities, whether in crypto or traditional, even over the weekend. So how do you feel like this, that users can learn from this, or how do you feel like the industry, it's DeFi in particular, can help solve these issues?
It is a learning curve, right? I mean, recently we've had instances where, yes, several businesses have failed, but it just tells you that in this market or in this industry, it's very imperative to make sure that companies are regulated. There's a proper KYC AML in place. People are not investing in, sorry to say, but in children, because they're young people coming in and I can do this and that for you. And there are institutions that are, putting thousands and thousands of dollars into this, right? Actually, millions. So we just need to be a bit wary about, in what businesses we invest in, and we learn from our experiences and grow to make a better ecosystem.
I agree with that. Would you like to add anything?
Sure. I mean, the only thing I can say that is really this entire space was built because there was an issue. And the issue is not centralization in and of itself, but it's corruption of centralization. And we've seen that over and over again. We see systems that are broken, that are not working. Even now, right, last week with the Silicon Silicon Valley Bank, also having to be bailed out and be bankrupt. So even with traditional tech, it's not just that the new projects are coming in that are trying to create and invent a new system, but you see that this industry is broken. Obviously, not just finance, but that was the Kickstarter, right? And so having finance be decentralized, I think, is the core of this entire industry, is what is needed, and it's the future, and I think it's going to happen eventually.
Absolutely.
You did mention something about the initiator of this being finance. I do want to know what you guys feel about brands entering, the Web3 as well, because obviously now we've seen brands from Nike, L'Oreal, Walmart enter Web3. How do you feel like this is going to impact the way that the world works, marketing, I mean, just the future of the metaverse, blockchain, Web3 as a whole?
Brands will go after consumers. So if there are no consumers, there will be no brands. They do experiments. We see it. Yeah, we see it. But I mean, since traction is very low, there are no brands, and they will not be before the new hype will emerge. What is important that at some point all producers will have their goods in as 3D models, because it's significantly reduce the cost of during the whole supply chain. And this will be also part of metaverse due to standardization of technologies behind. So there's the same engines which are used for like digital twin for series, for films, and for games. So that standardization will give opportunity for all brand producers to use their assets in all different applications.
See, customer experiences are changing. Okay, customers are more and more inclined towards more immersive experiences. Metaverse, basically, the potential of metaverse is to enable that, and customers are able to shop. They can have a digital twin, like my friend said right here, and they can interact with other users in such a way that they actually become a part of the experience. Look at different airlines. I mean, now what they're trying to do is that a customer enters the aircraft and he can roam around. He can have a, look at what's in the ice box, and literally it just gives them a better experience. So The potential is that definitely brands need to harness this technology. It is coming. That's the reason why even the UAE came up with a Dubai Metaverse strategy. And sooner than later, if they don't adopt, they're going to fall behind. So that's my thoughts.
I think one of the key things here is for brands, and my advice that I always give to brands, and I write in many of my pieces, is don't try to fix problems that don't exist. Yeah. So if we all look at like what we do day to day, yeah, and pieces of technology that really made a substantial impact on everybody in this room and will do for generations and generations to come, they usually come in twos. Yeah. So let's look at you know, the likes of Kareem and Uber. It happened because of GPS and the smartphone. Now, it's also invisible technology. Yeah, we use it without knowing. You look at Netflix. Netflix existed because of high-speed internet and artificial intelligence, predictive modeling. Yeah, these things are invisible to us now. Yeah, what I don't see with a lot of brands, and Paul mentioned this earlier in the last panel, is any real reasoning on why this is actually being done. So great, let's make a product or this thing. There's no reason on what actually the consumer needs. This is the fundamental issue that brands are having at the moment. They're trying to fix problems that don't actually exist.
At some point, AR will launch. At some point, Apple will launch the AR glasses, and this will be pivotal point because AR it could substitute phone. VR, like for 10 years, there's not really much traction because it's very hard to wear it for hours. So once it will exist, I mean, then we will see there will be huge market for, say, virtual clothes, which you'll see as a AR.
But the thing with just very last point on that, like VR was invented in 1957. It's almost exactly the same as it was then as it is now. There's a fundamental problem with VR, and that is the laws of physics. Yeah, like. You can't actually put something in front of your eyes. And that is why VR is an issue. And that's why it's an issue for consumers. And that is why it's unlikely we'll be walking around with headsets anytime soon.
Totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Okay, so obviously we're really short on time because we are delayed. But I do want to just quick one sentence. What advice would you give to companies entering Web3?
Wow. There are different aspects, right? I mean, depends on...
One sentence, Hamza.
Do your...
Which companies, yeah. The different companies.
Make sure that you focus on regulations, to be honest, and KYC and AML. I mean, if you're trying to get into it.
That's good advice.
I would actually say look at what the users want, because user experience is the most important when it comes to, you know, sustaining your brand. That it's not just about now saying, oh, we're launching the new NFT collection and jumping on those buzzwords, but really making sure that you are building something that is applicable to your market and that your audience will enjoy.
So they already don't focus on problems that don't exist.
I love that one.
Yeah. Product market fit. That's the only thing they should care about.
Marketing.
Product market fit.
Ah, I love that. Okay, guys, I hope you learned something today, and thanks for joining us on our panel. Just want to give a round of applause for our panelists here.